Good morning, everybody. Whew, I'm running behind and I'm already hot and sweaty this morning. It is, I know, 99% humidity out there at least. It is so hot. And I chose this hot and sweaty, muggy morning to do something I don't think ever done before. I'm not really a real physical person to get out there and hammer stuff around. More mental, I guess you would say. But I'm gonna flip this camera around. I'm gonna pull over safely and flip it around where you can see what I have done this morning to make me so hot and sweaty. Safely pulling over, blinkers on, and here we go. Okay, guys, let's flip this thing around. Okay, this is my house. There we go. And this shows you, nice police officer going by. This shows you what I have done to make me hot and sweaty. I hammered these bad boys into the ground this morning. Yes, you know me, the non-political person has had to become political. It is kind of ironic, being that I do have a Bachelor of Arts in government, political science, before I went to law school. So it's kind of odd that I'm not political, but I'm not. Mainly because people do a whole lot of yelling and screaming and nobody's listening to anybody. But when you get on the local level especially, sometimes it's time for a change. And I got to tell you, I went last night to hear the candidates speak again. Heard a few of them, didn't hear all of them. This particular gathering was a Tea Party gathering, and I'm not affiliated with any particular group like that. But I wanted to hear what these particular candidates had to say, and after more convinced than ever that I am voting for Tim, Jim, and Mo. Why doesn't Mo have a sign in my yard, you might ask? Mo ran out of signs, so hopefully we can rustle up a handful more signs. But that is the trio that I'm voting for. Tim Lafferty for mayor, Jim Bennett, and Mo Saidi for city council. Because they're for property rights. I mean, the major problem in this election is there are those who would like to say, you know what, you bought this property let's just say, as a vacation rental, a short-term rental. Well, now you can't either there are those, including our mayor, who it's believed thinks that would like to see as many B&Bs gone as possible. And then there's certainly those who want to put a moratorium or limit the number of B&Bs. So how would you feel if you bought a piece of property based, at least in part, on the income it could produce? Because as a long-term rental, it would not make the income to even pay your mortgage. It just wouldn't. So you do that, and then down the road, they say, you know what, we're going to change the rules on you, and it's not going to be legal anymore. I have no problem whatsoever with them saying, but we need to collect taxes. You bet, and you bet everyone through absolute charm has paid their taxes. I don't want anyone getting away with anything they shouldn't. I don't want anyone getting away with improper zoning. Matter of fact, we are the zoning police when it comes to this kind of thing. That's one reason we got into real estate. I kept having people say, my realtor told me they don't enforce all that. And I would always say, well, they may or may not right now, but they have and they will again. So you have to be willing to understand that you will eventually have to stop doing anything that doesn't comply with zoning, period. And I said, I know this from experience, because we bought a bed and breakfast and ran it as 2 units years ago in an R1 zone a long time ago. We didn't even know much about it when we first started out. It had always been run that way, so we just assumed everything was good to go. Well, city found out we were doing that and said, no, this can only be run as one. We immediately fixed it, gave some other added value to the property, and made it work and do just as well the way it was. So I have never encouraged anyone to violate zoning. I've always told them it depends on who the city hires. You may think right now they don't care, but there have been certain code enforcement officers that was their main issue. And I've seen that personally, so they will enforce it. I don't want anyone to violate zoning. I don't want anyone to encourage or allow loud parties, but what we don't do is we don't throw out the baby with the bath. It is wrong, in my opinion, to change what someone's able to do with their property. And some people, like I'm pretty sure Bobby Watson said at the last meeting I was at that he would be in favor of grandfathering, which he may or may not be, I'm not sure. But even grandfathering is not good enough unless you were to define how it worked, because does that mean I can run mine as a short-term rental, which has always, always, always been legal in R1 zoning as 1 unit? But when it comes time to sell it, can I sell it as one? Because you've greatly affected my value. if you're going to say only for you, then I have to own this for the rest of my life. That's just wrong. That's not, in my opinion, what Texas is about. And I don't have any choice at this point but to stand up for my homeowners, stand up for a good portion of this town. Guys, we may like it, we may not, but half of our town is non-homestead. This is a second home vacation rental market. We may not like it, but the facts is the facts. And so I would urge you, if you value property rights and don't want the very liberal element at the city to be able to come in and tell you what you can do with the property you bought that's different than what you were told legally in the past, then I urge you to vote for Tim, Jim, and Mo. That's Tim Lafferty, Jim Bennett, and Mo Saidi. Talk to y'all later. Bye.